Making Sense of Good Quality by Design, Conclave 2021, Pharma Labs, The Next Frontier. Thank you, Express Pharma, for this opportunity to share my thoughts. To become future ready in new market realities, to learn to invest in new technologies to improve data traceability and integrity, Conclave 2021 places a special focus on transformation and management. A key to becoming future ready in the new market realities and improve traceability and integrity, we must invest in sensing and sense-making technologies. That is the key message I wish to share at this Conclave 2021. In experience, we give meaning to our insights. Focus means to concentrate attention and energy, qualia, on a locus for maximum clarity. Management means to control qualia so as to minimize cost and time we have to spend to accomplish our task. Transformation means, from different perspectives, changes from one syntax or one syntactic structure to another that describes changing form or shape or appearance, the position or direction of the axis of a coordinate system. And it also means gene modification by the uptake and incorporation of exogenous DNA. That is the meaning of transformation from multiple perspectives. And in our multiple perspectives is our experience. In experience, we give meaning to our insights. Pharmaceutical experience, taking a US perspective. After the thalidomide tragedy in 1962, the Kefauver-Harris Amendment to the FD&C Act emphasized scientific training and experience to assess evidence of quality, safety, and effectiveness fairly and responsibly. In manufacturing, the current good manufacturing practice regulations demand education, training, and experience of all those who work in a GMP environment. Today, the headline says the FDA is broken, in part due to mismatch of education, training, and experience to be able to make decisions fairly and responsibly. My Express Pharma experience has given meaning to my insights, and for last several years I have focused my attention on education, training, and experience. Particularly, how do I learn from my experience? Experience means to feel, and feeling emotions is subjective. How do we learn from our subjective experience objectively? Why focus on experience? How we can experience? What sensing and sense-making technologies should we invest in to learn from experience? How we feel and think should be our control strategy. But today, what we feel and think is the new control strategy. We are in a digital war. Narratives are weaponized to control us, and we have been in an experience economy for the last 22 years. Evolution favors the survival of the wisest. Who are the wise in the world today? If it's not us, we are being controlled. Making contemporaneous notes is critical for data integrity. It is also critical for integrity of learning from experience. For the last several years, I have been sharing my contemporaneous notes on how I feel and think in context of pharmaceutical quality. Six Blind Men, Regulatory Science, Bob's Big Idea, and Gandhi's Way Out of Hell, Goodbye 2015 is one such example. To feel the shadow of the future, we must take a development stance. How we experience, how we learn from experience is in those contemporaneous notes. Amidst the COVID-19 pandemonium, we are advancing, among other things, emergency use authorization mandates, quality management maturity pilot, preparing for smart factories of the future with regulations developed in an Industry 2.0 paradigm. And we continue to spiral guidance development. ICHQ 14 has been proposed, which will revise ICHQ 2. Quality by design of analytical methods is now a focus of attention. Quality by design of analytical measurements is also related to our internal measurements. What are we perceiving? What are we observing? What do we perceive? Our perceptions, how close are they to reality? To be able to learn from experience, we must bring our perceptions closer to reality, closer to truth. And to do so, we have to make experience the sixth sense. We do so by asking the question, how do I know what I know? Epistemology. If we do so, we prevent our knowledge pyramid from toppling. According to the Bioforum Digital Plant Maturity Model, an assessment tool which was published in 2018, maturity level 5 is the desired state, the to-be state of a smart factory when we realize Industry 4.0 objectives. Currently, according to this report, the leading biopharma companies are at level 3, reaching level 3. That's the leading edge. That is the as-is condition. But that is among the topmost biopharma companies which are getting richer and richer. What about the rest of the pharmaceutical sector, which does not have the resources, does not have the know-how to achieve this? That's where my focus is today. The stages in maturity go from pre-digital plant to digital silos to connected plant to predictive plant to adaptive plant. In an adaptive plant, end-to-end automation, machine-to-machine communication, and automated actions, that's when we reach Industry 4.0 objectives. Level 1, we need valid paper-based SOPs, and we must move towards electronic systems to go paperless. To bridge the silos, end-to-end data standards, visibility, and contextualization. To achieve connected plant, automated analytics, fault detection, and predictive modeling. To become predictive, predictive actions, fault detection, model predictive controls, and schedule optimization. Smart development, smart processing, smart scheduling, smart maintenance, and smart inspections. That is what we are moving towards. Bob's big idea, which is Professor Keegan's big idea, is the constructive development theory of adult human development. Some adults continue to develop, but at different rates. Many do not. What's the difference? Today, we feel in over our heads. The Mental Demands of Modern Life was written in 1994, but today most of us realize that we are in over our heads. Adult human development stages go from impulse control to being imperialist, being socialized, being self-authored, and ultimately to self-transforming. Impulse control in adults is dealt like anger management and other HR related issues, disorders and addictions. Imperialists are control freaks, authoritarian, my way or no way. The way our socio-technical systems are organized, most, if not all, CEOs have to have an imperialist tendencies. Our politicians have become imperialists. We live in a namesake democracy, which is gone. At the best, most of the education system does is to make us socialized, being good, risk of groupthink or blind compliance, seeking external validation. We need to be self-authored at every level in our organization. Writing an SOP for how to make chai to writing an SOP for a process validation is essential. That's when we achieve internal validation. To do so, we verify before accepting. We are critical thinkers, seek to understand differing perspective. We have to overcome our ego to be self-transforming. That's what it means to take a development stance. Looking and being good is not mature. That's when we are teenagers. We want to look good. We want others to think we look good. And we don't want to rock the boat. This is not my problem, so I won't say anything. Being good is not mature. The need of the hour is self-transforming. The step to get there is self-authorship. But alas, in my experience over the last several years, very few can even write their own SOP without hiring a ex-GMP, ex-FDA GMP consultant. This is the state of where we are today in the sector. To learn from experience, we have to propagate errors of omission and commission to be able to detect, correct, and prevent those errors and keep learning over a life spiral. So what sensing and sense-making technologies to invest in is a question. With Industry 4.0, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, the rush towards replacing humans in the pharma sector is rapid and progressing rapidly. So by the year 2030, the 2030 agenda is to essentially remove humans from current good manufacturing practices. Is that so? If so, how will we achieve that? Or should we achieve that? What sensing and sense-making technologies to invest in, from my perspective, is in ourselves. How do we improve our sensing and sense-making technology to mature ourselves, not become slaves to artificial intelligence? My academic research was in artificial intelligence before I got to FDA. And therefore, I had to go back to my research work that I used to do before I got to FDA in 1995 to be able to think through the experiential learning as back propagation of errors and omission and commission. And that has been my focus of discussion over the last several years. Ayo, my cell phone is learning from my experience while my attention span keeps diminishing. Unfortunately, that has become a stark reality today. Our cell phones with built-in artificial intelligence app are learning from our likes, our attention, our focus on the screen, and our behavior. Why can't we learn from our own experience is a question in my mind. We travel across domains, from the physical domain to information domain to cognitive domain, seamlessly, intuitively. But our education training does not provide us uh, the means and the tools and the know-how to learn from our experience as much as we should have learned. So sense making, the process of sense making is key to invest in. So if I start with our intention on the right hand side, the top corner, once we have an intention, by design means by intent. When we start planning, which goes from our mind to the information domain to physical domain, planning, directive, synchronization of teams to take action, actions result in outcomes which are objects and events in the physical domain, from which we derive data, and we organize data in context to become information that then provides awareness of a situation which we share across the organization, and we have crossed into the cognitive domain. In the cognitive domain, our awareness interacts with our paradigm of mental models, our prior knowledge, and in that interaction we generate understanding which we are supposed to share amongst the team. And understanding is limited to our prior knowledge and our ways of thinking. And in a multidisciplinary team, one is a chemist, one is a pharmacist, one is an engineer. The word control, for example, has different meanings to different disciplines. So our understanding is only limited to our prior knowledge and our ways of thinking, our discipline, thinking. And in a complex world, our understanding being limited, we have to make sense. Making common sense is very difficult. Common sense is not so common, is well known. So sense making before concluding or judging and shaping our intention, I think, is key. And to do that, we have to be able to objectively assess our emotions, beliefs, and perceptions, and how they need to be accounted for and not discounted in our decision making is key. So decision support tools to make sure the situation awareness is correct, to make sure we have accounted for our emotions, beliefs, and perceptions, and to come with correct judgment, a correct analysis, correct decision, I think is key aspect that we have to focus on. We are born, we live, we work, and we die in socio-technical systems. Our systems have been broken for many years. A broken system is a bad system. Medical errors, the third leading cause of death in the US, was a known fact in 2016. But the causes of failure, the causes of why the system is broken, is historical. If you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. One accurate measurement is worth 1,000 expert opinions. Finally, we are now focusing on quality by design of analytical methods. The lessons in the PAT initiative, which defined process understanding and utilized sense making from first principle as a basis for moving forward, are still to be learned. The COVID-19 tragedy is it has broken our systems. The only solution is to build back better, which is the political slogan, or the Great Reset, which is another slogan. America has a coronavirus data integrity problem, public health experts argue, at the highest level. To maintain our humanity, to maintain our dignity and not becoming slaves to artificial intelligence. Remember, some adults continue to develop, but at different rates. Many do not. Between stimulus and response is your choice. Choose wisely. Thank you for listening. This was my message. Let's focus on sense making to learn from our experience. Thank you.